We are recording. Okay. Good morning.
Awesome. Good morning.
How are you today?
Pretty good. Feeling great this morning actually. How you doing?
Good. So, for all the folks in the internet world, welcome to Silver Sunrise. This is the great and powerful Michael,
Thank you.
and Michael is a recovery warrior. So, today is June 27th. It is 6:18 a.m. It is a beautiful day. It looks like, right?
Yeah, should be nice out there.
Yeah. All right. Let's read.
All right.
Let's go with this. Let me get this out of the way. Conforming to the AA way. We obey AA's steps and traditions because we really want them for ourselves. It is no longer a question of good or evil. We conform because we genuinely want to conform. Such is our process of growth in unity and function. Such is the evidence of God's grace and love among us. That comes from AA Comes of Age, page 106. So AA Comes of Age. I don't know. I don't have that book, but I think it's a book that was. It came out maybe after the second edition of the big book, and it was kind of like, um, uh, maybe around like the 50th anniversary or something like that. But it was a book about AA, right?
Yeah.
I think. All right. The writer then says, "It is fun to watch myself grow in AA. Heck yeah. I fought conformity to AA principles from the moment I entered, but I learned from the pain of my belligerence that in choosing to live the AA way of life, I opened myself to God's grace and love. Then I began to know the full meaning of being a member of Alcoholics Anonymous." That's a good one. I like that one a lot. Okay. So let's go back to the top. I'm going to read a couple, like read a sentence, maybe two, and then let you just riff on it, okay?
Okay.
All right, so back to the top. We obey AA's steps and traditions because we really want them for ourselves. It is no longer a question of good or evil. We conform because we genuinely want to conform. What do you think about that? Or you know what? You can start any way you want. You can start by telling a little bit about yourself, because I know you're not necessarily an AA guy, right?
Right. Right. Yeah. I kind of followed along more of kind of like the smart recovery type of programming, I guess. I wasn't necessarily in smart recovery for like the first couple years, but that's something that I recently got into.
So talk about
Um,
that, because people might not know what that is.
so smart recovery is it's self-managed recovery training. So the just kind of the whole idea behind it is it's not specifically like AA or NA. It's more of like kind of all inclusive, more of behavioral type recovery. And you may have somebody that comes in that doesn't even deal with substance use at all and just kind of has some type of other addiction related to behavior or maybe it has to do with eating or gambling or whatever it may be. But just kind of having that understanding that it stems from mental health and we all have some type of behavioral issues that are going on that's kind of leading into the bad behavior that we have.
For sure. All right, sounds good. So, um, I know you know a little bit about AA though, and
Yeah.
we've been to some meetings together. So if you want, you can go through this reading, and you can like change any words in to make it make sense for you. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So like we obey AA's steps and traditions because we really want them for ourselves. You don't necessarily conform to that, right? So
Right.
what do you obey because you really want recovery?
So for me, it's the biggest thing is discipline and just knowing for myself that anytime I had any challenges that I faced in life, that alcohol was not solving it. All it was doing was creating more issues that kept piling on. So it got to the point where it's like, I'm tired of living in this vicious cycle of just always feeling down, always feeling like I have to numb whatever's going on. And it's like, hey, let's just bring things to the surface and just deal with life as it is. And that's where I really learned that, yeah, things sometimes get rough and they suck. But if I'm actually willing to work through whatever's going on and actually like look at what behaviors stemmed from whatever's going on and kind of made me start pushing things down, like from there I can actually be like, all right, let's get to a solution. Let's get to a solution and not continue to pile on problems.
Yeah. So your guiding light, so to speak, is discipline, right?
Yes.
So what? It's no longer a question of good or evil. You conform to this new discipline because you genuinely want it, right?
Correct.
Not because
Yes.
anyone, no one's forcing you.
No. No one's forcing me. And when I went to treatment this last time, it was, I don't have any of the legal issues that I used to have. No one's telling me like, you have to do this or you're getting locked up. This was, I'm free of the system and I'm just tired of living this way. I would rather be happy, enjoy life as it is instead of having this continued pattern of addiction and just constantly just failing myself pretty much.
Yeah. Yeah. It's powerful. So when you say like discipline is your guiding light, what does that mean exactly? What discipline? Discipline to do what, when, how?
So kind of, for example, since I'm really into the gym and fitness, there's some mornings where like I just don't have the motivation to do it. I'm like, this is not the day. I'm not going. Or if I'm midway through a workout, like, oh man, normally this workout is easier, but I'm struggling with it right now. I might just tap out early. Like I have to really dig deep and have that discipline of like, no, show up, do it, and then you're going to feel better afterwards. Or if I'm struggling to make it all the way through, quit telling myself that I'm struggling and I can't do it, and just be like, nah, you're going to dig deeper and deeper, and you're going to keep going until you get to the end goal, and then you realize, man, I actually feel really good about that, because even when I felt like I wasn't going to be able to make it through, I pushed myself as hard as I could to get through.
Yeah. And what else do you get from that from working out? Like I think I know the answer, but I want to hear it from you.
Yeah. So at first, when I was thinking of getting into fitness and working out, I was thinking of the physical aspect of it, of, just getting the gains, building muscle, just looking good, feeling good. But I realized after I started working out that it helps you out even more mentally than it does physically. It's I used to be so self-conscious and be worried about being in the gym and looking stupid and like, oh, I don't know what I'm doing and people judging me. But I ended up realizing that people don't really judge you like you think. You're just judging yourself and you're letting that fear speak for you. There's people that are actually in the gym like cheering you on. When I'm around a group of people in recovery that are also trying to accomplish their fitness goals, like they're there to meet you where you're at and actually be like, what can I do to help you out if you need anything from me. And I think that's just powerful, is just having people that believe in you no matter where you're at, and they're like, I've been where you're at, I can help you out. So it's just a whole confidence boost all around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So two things that I heard in there, right, was one, you get mentally sharper,
Hmm.
and two, you have a community.
Yeah.
You work out with a group called the Phoenix, right?
So
Or no, you're at the Bridge.
yeah, with the bridge.
Okay, talk about the Bridge.
So yeah, the bridge. Dan Hugel and Matt Clovis. There are some really awesome guys, especially I first connected with Dan when I was doing inpatient at Peaks. But yeah, these guys are really out there in the community, just trying to help people in recovery. They're really trying to work with individuals who are in the prison system that are trying to come out into the community and just basically have more support. Because when you come from that environment out into the real world, sometimes society just like shuts you down right away. So you need people that are going to believe in you, and so they really started this organization to help people coming out of prison that are in the justice system dealing with things that they dealt with, but they're also just there to like help anybody in the community. I've just seen them embrace everybody and just, hey, let's go. Like, how can we lift you up? How can we help you with where you're at right now?
Yeah, Dan's awesome.
Yeah,
So Dan, I want to have him on here at some point, but so a couple parallels too, like between what you were describing about how like at first you were kind of self-conscious about looking silly or not doing an exercise right or something like that, but
yeah,
then you realized no one's really gonna care, right? If anything, they're gonna lift me up. They're not gonna put me down.
exactly.
That's exactly the way that like the rooms are, like the meeting rooms, right? AA,
For
NA, all
sure.
these other rooms, right? People walk in a little bit scared of like, I don't know what to do, I don't know when to talk, I don't know how to do this or that, and that fear can keep them away.
Yeah,
When in reality, the people in those rooms, all they're gonna do is be like, "Oh, it's okay, we got you. Like you, here's how we do this, here's how we do that. By the way, I'm Brent, and blah blah blah." So you get over that fear of looking silly, and you also grow because you conquered a fear, and then you gained a community along the way. And how important has that community been for you? Like any community? Because talk so a little
oh
so
yeah,
before I let you answer that, I'm sorry to interrupt you.
you're good.
Talk a little bit about like just for like a brief synopsis of like your story because I know it
Yeah,
because I've been I've known you for 2 years now. I've known you since you checked in to Peaks.
yeah.
So how many days you got now, and like talk a little bit about your story, and then like what's changed since I know you tried to get sober before. What's different this time? Is it community? Is it like where is it? Were you just more desperate this time, or I know you're checking on your date right now, right?
Yeah, yeah. So I'm gonna get that date pulled up here, and then yeah, I'll go ahead and answer all that. So yeah, day 863 days here, so a little over
My
two
man,
years,
my
2 years
man.
and 4 months. Yeah, thank you. But yeah, no. So I had checked myself into Peaks Recovery February 14th of 2023. That was just the day that I just accepted defeat and was just like, this is enough. Like I have to do something to get help. Been trying to convince myself at this point that I can do it on my own, but I wasn't getting anywhere. So I really needed to get into a program and really just trust in others to help me out. And so from there, I woke up February 15th, 2023 in detox at Peaks. That was my first day of sobriety that I claimed. The biggest difference this time was community. Like you mentioned, like you asked if it was community, and yes, it definitely was community this time because in the past I tried to isolate. I try to act like, I can't be around other people. All I can do is just go to work, come home, be with the family. And as much as, I love being with my family and stuff, we still need to have other people and a community around us, outside of just the household to help, be supportive. So when I kept hearing people like try to drill community into me this time, I was like, you know what? Let me try that because I didn't try it before, and obviously my way wasn't working. So why don't I try their way? And this might end up being, a different scenario. So that's when I leaned on my Peaks community. You were definitely there a lot in the beginning as well, Brent, to help me like gain that confidence in community. Dan, Nicole, with getting me into the fitness and working out. from there, I just decided after leaving Peaks that I'm not gonna stray away from community at this point. Like, let me find ways that I can stay connected, whether it's like, with fitness or, I would speak freely about my recovery and my journey over social media, trying to let others know, like, hey, like you're not the only ones going through this. I'm here if you need help. So I was always trying to find a way to give back and be of service to people. So
Yeah.
I think that's kind of what also led to me becoming a peer recovery coach here now, is just wanting to be there for others. And what I realized is it helps me show up for myself even more too, because like I got to sit there, take some time to myself, be like, hey, where are you at with your recovery right now? What do you need today? That just helps me show up so much better for others, because if I'm going to speak on the things that are helping me and try to help them in their journey, like I got to make sure my recovery is at a good place too.
Yep. Good stuff. Yeah. So when it's you like you said, you've chosen to live out loud, like live loudly, recover loudly, so other people don't have to suffer silently, right?
Correct. Yep.
That's kind of obviously one of the reasons I'm doing this too, right? Like, for a long time I suffered silently, and it's really hard. So like, the more people we can reach, the better. So,
Yes.
thank you for living your recovery out loud. I appreciate that.
Of course.
And you are definitely an inspiring person. So I hope you realize that.
Thank you.
And thank you for choosing to work in the field that you're working in, a peer recovery coach. Talk a little bit about what that is.
Yeah. So, I think it's awesome that peer recovery coaches are it wasn't as much of a thing before in the past, but it's kind of something that's growing now in the community a lot more and with organizations. But a peer coach kind of is like that in between. So, you got your clinicians, like the therapists and stuff like that, that really help individuals going through like whatever they're going through, so they have more of the clinical care. And the peer recovery coaches are, the people that are kind of more with them on a daily. So like a lot of times we can be out with people, with clients or whatever, out just having engagements, taking them to do things, have fun, show them what sober fun is outside of like the organization, where not you're not necessarily going to go have coffee or go hang out with your therapist and stuff. Like, you guys got to keep that on a professional level, inside the organization, wherever you guys meet. So I think it's awesome. Like the peer coaches do like get that opportunity to kind of get a little more personal and kind of just um, almost as like it's like somebody that you just a mentor that you just get to hang out with and kind of pick their brain and see like what worked for them and kind of how they live their recovery journey. So I think it's really huge for me, because it's like making me see that I am in the field that I want to be in, and I'm actually doing the work that, like, as I kind of envisioned myself helping people.
Do you think this is your purpose in life?
Oh yeah, I most definitely think it is my purpose in life. And like last year, I faced so many challenges and just things that were unexplained in the work environment, from where I was before, that it really showed me that like it was pushing me to where I needed to be now. Like, it was like, hey, stop focusing on this one career choice over here, because you've been over here trying to help people in the community. So why don't you actually like really lean on that, get some more knowledge through going through peer coach training, get your certificates, get somewhere where they can help you, start accomplishing your goals and helping you grow as well. Because I learned stuff about myself every single day that I'm like, wow, like, I was kind of, that complacency piece. There's certain areas where I was like starting to get complacent again, and I'm like, all right, cool. So like, this is teaching me that I just need to keep myself on my toes and not get really comfortable with where I'm at.
Yeah. Definitely a pay cut, though, huh?
Um, I mean, yes and no, actually.
Right.
So in the so kind of in the on paper it kind of looks like it, but I also realize getting out of that corporate world is like I'm not getting taxed as much at all. Like my taxes are a lot less than what I was getting taxed in the corporate industry, and um, yeah, and I'm actually getting more. I'm getting more hours, but it doesn't feel like I'm overworked
Yeah.
as well.
The
Like I'm actually having fun doing what I'm doing. So essentially, I'm pretty much making the same.
the reason I brought that up is not about just money. So
Yeah,
you
yeah.
might look like you're making less money, but what are you actually like being paid? You're being paid in other ways, right? You're being paid
Oh yeah.
in your soul, in your spirit, in your mind, in your body. So there's there's if you feel it in your bones in your soul that that's what you're supposed to be doing, it doesn't matter how much they pay you, right?
Yeah.
Like when I worked at Peaks, I've told you this, like I've never made less money and had a better job in my life. It
Right.
was, I mean, the jobs I worked in high school, I made more money than what I made when I was working at Peaks. So
Yeah.
it's not always just about money. It's about like feeding your soul because you got to have your cup filled in order to be able to pour it into other people.
Oh, for
So you
sure.
got to figure out a way to fill your cup so you can give it back to other folks. So I do want to get back to the reading a little bit, just to see what you think. Like, it's not
Yeah.
necessarily all about AA, but that's why we're here is to talk about these readings.
Right.
So it's no longer a question of good or evil. We conform because we want to. Such is our process of growing in unity and function. Such is the evidence of God's grace and love among us. So talk about like, do you have a higher power? What's your higher power?
So for me, I kind of like, I have that more spiritual aspect of like I know there's something out there in energy that's greater than me, that is all these unexpected things that are kind of coming together. It is definitely an energy, spiritual. I'm not necessarily like a God Christian person. That was something that like I kind of grew up with family, but I feel like it was also something that I kind of grew out of. I had family that was really into church and all that, and then I kind of just had some things going on with my mom in that time that my family was trying to like get me really pushed into church, and so I kind of just like went the opposite way, and from there I just feel like I never just like came back to it, but I do love hearing people's like journeys and stuff where like God is huge for them. Like that is a big part of them. They're really religious and like just like with AA as well is like, even though that's not like the way that I follow, like if it works for people and they found something that is helping them get through, like I just love hearing that. So
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm never gonna shoot down like, oh my gosh, like you follow this. I no, no, like I'm like, if that's your thing, like I really genuinely like love seeing that you believe in this and this is actually helping you as long as you understand like you don't run the world, you're not this higher power and that something out there is actually greater than you so that you can I guess it would be like submit to certain ways of thinking.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, you've been to AA meetings, and obviously, like, it depends on where you live. Like, I know in certain places they read the Lord's Prayer at the top of the meeting and at the bottom of the meeting, and then twice in the middle of the meeting, and right, like, they're all about the Lord's Prayer and God and everything. But
Yeah.
in your experience, how big of a deal is it if you don't believe in the Christian God or the big three, so to speak, like, and then you still want to go to AA? Are you outcast?
No, I don't really feel like an outcast. Like I can sit there, I can listen and not have this like feeling of like, like just like feeling like oh man, I can't even listen to this. It's just more of like, like I can sit there, listen and not feel negative about it. This is something that, that is really helping people out. So I look at it from that aspect of that it's serving its purpose. And it goes back to where I'm like, I feel community is huge, and whatever community that is for somebody, like it's really helping them change their ways and figure out like what can I do to get better.
Yeah. Looks like my computer is really buffering because you're talking, your mouth's moving, and then I hear your voice.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
hopefully it's not going to make the video seem annoying to watch. But okay, so uh, it is okay. So this is the part I really liked. It is fun to watch myself grow in, let's just say, recovery. Okay, it's fun to watch myself grow in recovery. I fought conformity to recovery principles from the moment from the moment I entered. Excuse me. But I learned from the pain of my belligerence that in choosing to live the recovery way of life, I opened myself to my higher power's grace and love. So, like, I don't know, pick that apart a little bit because I love that sentence. Like, how does that make you feel? What do you think about?
Yeah, I think I love that part. That's pretty great because you'll get to a point where like you're just so stubborn and you think like you just know everything. Your way is the way. There's no other way. So you gotta conform. You gotta realize like, hey, like I need to sit back, stop trying to control every situation here, and be willing to change. Because if I'm not willing to change, nothing's gonna change. Nothing's gonna get better. So why don't I just dig into this, trust that I'm not the person that's controlling the universe, and trust that I need to do things that are uncomfortable in order to grow, because if you're just comfortable all the time, you're not even going to grow. You got to have some type of discomfort to be able to actually accomplish things.
Yeah, definitely right about that. If you're comfortable all the time, you're not growing for sure.
Yeah.
And especially people like us, you know, people who need to get better, we we can't keep doing what we've been doing because that
Right.
wasn't working, right? Nobody goes into the rooms or into a treatment center on a winning streak.
Yeah.
So we got to change something up. All right, we
For
got
sure.
10 minutes left here
Okay.
before Zoom kicks us out. So I learned from the pain and belligerence, my pain and my belligerence, that choosing recovery, I opened myself up to my higher power. Since you started your recovery journey, what has your relationship with your idea of a higher power been like? Like, has it evolved? Is it stronger now, or are you farther away from understanding it? Because, like, for me, it took me about 2 years to really start honing in on what like my higher power is going to be and like what I understand, what makes sense to me, what
Hmm.
what I trust. And then since then, it's been like like a rocket ship. Like me and my higher power, we're like simpatico now, right? Like I get it. So like how's it been for you like from where you started to where you are now?
Yeah. So, I mean, for me, I feel like I don't know if I necessarily like understand or have like a full connection of like what that higher power is. I just trust in the fact that something has been pushing me forward, keeping me going, directing me on a certain path, and helping me avoid going down that other path again. So I just kind of more of lean into um, I guess just trusting others is the biggest thing, and not necessarily trusting myself all the time. There's certain moments that I'm like, yeah, like I of course I trust my ability and my knowledge and things like that, but I still love to put my trust into others and give it up to them to help like guide me along the way, because I still can go back into those bad thinking patterns, and I just need to be pulled another way.
Yeah. So it's interesting you mentioned that you've found some solace and some connection with trusting others. Was it hard for you to trust other people? If because I mean, did you have a specific very close relationship family member with
Mhm.
whom they have, broken your trust over and over and over again. So has it been hard for you to trust other people?
Oh yeah, most definitely. Because it's yeah, and that one is still not improved at all. So I'm just keeping my distance, and yeah, I think it's very hard when growing up somebody that you trust to be there is not really there that much,
Mm-hmm.
and it's kind of in and out of your life. You get those like abandonment issues, and that's where it was easy for me to just kind of like yeah, just not trust other people. And from that's where I feel like I may have just pushed away community so much, is because I just had that fear of like abandonment, but also just not wanting to trust that anything that these people have to say is going to even help me. So it was just yeah, a lot of the trust issues, abandonment issues. So it was very difficult for me to change that, and I'm just glad that I got to a point where I was like, nah, like I can't continue with this vicious cycle and just feeling like I can't trust other people. I gotta actually be vulnerable and let my guard down in this aspect and be like, hey, lead the way for me, please.
Yeah, and that's real hard. Um, did a whole did a whole show about that on June 23rd. I mean, it's trusting others is the whole topic of it. So,
Yeah.
but you found people you can trust, and it was through start. Was it starting at Peaks and then moving into other places after that that you found people you can finally feel like you trust?
Yeah, yeah, it definitely started at peaks. Once I got sober and I really started working on a lot of my issues, that's when it was like wow, like I had a huge eye opener. I was working through a lot of trauma, especially from starting at age 12 that I stuffed down and I didn't even want to deal with or bring to the surface. So once I brought all that to the surface and got a better understanding of it, that's when I was like, wow, like, these people help me realize this, and this is helping me move past and start a new chapter in my life. So, if they help me get to this point, maybe I should just continue to rely on them and have them in my corner because they're definitely trying to help me out.
Yeah. So that's a perfect parallel back to the reading because you did all that and now you are doing what you're doing, which is giving back, right? Being of service. And
Yeah.
then, the reading, I opened up myself to God's grace and love. And I'm not saying you have to like give yourself over to God. I'm saying
Yeah.
I opened myself to my higher powers, grace and love, and then I began to know the full meaning of being a member of Alcoholics Anonymous, or then I began to know the full meaning of being a member of the recovery community or society at large. So like once you got this ability to trust and you knew who to trust and you knew that there were people out there that could get your back and that they had your best interests in mind, whether that's through AA or through Smart Recovery or through, the bridge or whatever it is, then you began to be a member of this society, this community, right? And now you're
Yeah.
like a leader in this community.
Yeah, yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head with that one. It's just amazing to see like ever since I've like continued to embrace community that it's given back to me in so many ways. And like throughout the last couple years and stuff, like there may be some people that I've like grown apart from temporarily for a little bit, and then it's like things just come back full circle. Like there I can't even like begin to start on how many people that were here in the beginning of my recovery journey that I was like, kind of we distanced ourselves from each other for whatever reason, not necessarily like, hey, like stay, we got to stay away from each other. It was just kind of like we were on like different paths, but then it all just kind of like came back full circle. And I'm like, wow, like, it's amazing when you continue to work on your recovery and keep showing up and stuff, and how like the recovery community as a whole, like it's huge, but then it seems like it's so small at the same time, because then you end up coming in contact with a lot of people that you haven't seen in a while, and just being able to like get together and be like, how have you been? How have you been? And like still seeing like the growth and that you're in the community helping others. It's just powerful, and I feel like that helps me. Like it helps reassure that like I'm really where I need to be and where I want to be.
That's awesome. That's a great way to wrap this up because I feel like we're all magnets for the people that we want in our life. And we just have to understand how to use the energy that we have to attract the people that we want because some of us
Yeah.
don't know how to do that yet. And it's a learning process for sure. But you're attracting the people that you want now. So
Yeah.
good job. All right. So the timer says we got a minute 46 left. I need about 30 seconds at the end. But you got anything else you want to say in the last minute of your time here?
Just really like I definitely appreciate you having me on here. I love being able to just kind of share a little bit about myself or give any type of input or knowledge that I have to help others that are struggling that could really use the help. Stuff like this definitely helps us in recovery. Um, just really stay on top of whatever we have going on, what we need to do to keep pushing forward, and just anybody that's struggling, like we can all learn from you as well. So just know that no matter where you're at, whether you're in the beginning, you got years in or whatever, like we're here to help you, but you're also here to help us. We all support each other.
Heck yeah. That's beautiful. All right. So thank you again, Michael, for showing up for me this morning. And share the video, send it to people.
Yes. Cool.
So thanks again for everybody who's watching. Another episode in the books. Whoever you are, wherever you are, whenever you're listening to this, you are enough. You are loved. You got this. We got your back. Reach out, comment, do whatever you got to do. If you like the video, hit a thumbs up. If you like the channel, subscribe, and then share the video with someone who you think can benefit from it. And that's it. We out, bro.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Brent.
Love you, brother.
Love you too, bro.
Later.
Later.